Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, like always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well in sound doctrine. Peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, out there doing work with truth and sincerity, scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth. So, brothers, alright, Allah down here at the GMS Virginia camp, back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. This title of this lesson is going to be, a quick exhortation, in regards of, catching hell, trials and tribulation, chastisement, and so on and so forth, So without further ado, I'm going to read this. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12, and it reads, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. All right. So you have to ask yourself, the scripture says to examine ourselves whether I be in the faith. So us serving the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, don't think it's strange that certain things just happen to you and you thinking this happened for no reason. No, everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidence. All right. The Lord does things for his particular purpose. All right. I seen the title for this lesson that the brother Shamak did from the Atlanta camp going into spiritual chin check. I haven't got the chance to watch it, but I had it queued up for my videos to watch. But it was another thing I took note to. The Lord is going to chastise you. You're going to get chin checked in the spirit. All right, you're going to be beaten. Right, this flesh is going to kick your ass. Your job going to kick your ass. Right, being at home with your demon, or if you got kids or anything of that nature. Okay, your diet, anything, it's going to kick you in the ass, man. All right, and you have to have, that faith to overcome it and to endure it, So it's a part of your fiery trial, because, hey, you're going to be on fire for the Lord one way or another, and I choose to be, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, to be on fire for the Lord spiritually, purging out the iniquities, purging out, the wicked things, that took hold of me when I was in this flesh. And now that I'm in the blood of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, coming into this truth, believing upon that blood, I'm cleansing myself with this word, So by doing that, one of the top two cleansing agents is what? Fire and water, So you have to go through that spiritual fire, that fiery trial, And a trial is simply an experiment, You have to go through shit. You have to experience things. That's what it means to try out, means to experience, right? So continuing on in verse 13, it says, but rejoice. Why are you rejoicing? Because you still have the names. That's a no-brainer, Because you have the names of Yahweh Shem Yahshai and you're catching hell. Rejoice in that, right? It says, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy, right? Because you're going to be happy as well. The simple fact that the hell that Yahweh Shai caught, right, and he bared everything. And I'm talking on a very high level. He endured everything, right? When you read the Gospels, when you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he endured it all. So anything that you may see that's so hard to you, or may see overbearing or overburdensome, hey, just remember what Yahweh Shai went through. Remember Yahweh Shai, right? And by doing that, right, you're going to be glad that you did partake. It's going to be worth it in the end. The brother in my camp, Lakama, he always bring out the things that we go through are not worthy to be compared, for the things to come. So this shit that we going through is temporary, man. It's light work. It may feel all real hot in the moment and stressed out. Hey, man, you just have to, you have to continue going. And I need this lesson for myself, because sometimes I have to go over these scriptures over and over so they can be burned within your mind to keep you afloat, in this wicked-ass kingdom, man. Because if you don't, you're going to crash out. You're going to burn. Like, how they, saying the word, you're going to crash out. You're going to crash out and burn, literally, So to keep that mental fortitude, to keep that sanity and that tranquility or that peace when serving Yahweh Shem Yahshua, you have to go over these scriptures and you have to do these lessons to keep your spirit, rejuvenated, keep your spirit afloat. So it says, I'm reading verse 13 again. It says, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Right. When you read Second Esdras, the second chapter, it goes into the man that had a higher stature than the others, and they had the white robes, and he was crowned, and he crowned all those men. That's the glory. Okay, the Lord is allowing you to be joint heirs with him. When you read Romans 8 and 17, I believe, right? Well, we're being joint heirs with Yahushua, but how can we partake a part of the glory if we can't take a part of the sufferings, right? The temptations, right? The hell, that spiritual fire that we're going through. If we can't catch that, then we don't deserve, we're not worthy enough, okay, to accept the glory, okay? You got to drink of that cup like Yahushua told the mother of John and I believe James and John, the sons of Zebedee, if I'm not mistaken. When the mother asked, to for her sons to sit on the right hand of him, and he said, "It's not mine to give." And he said, and Yahushua basically told him, "Are you able to drink of this cup?" And they said, yeah. And he said, "Well, surely you shall drink of this cup." So you're going to have to receive the good and the bad. Just like Joe said, should I receive good and bad? Should I receive good from the Lord and not bad? Roughly paraphrasing. So you have to go through these things. You have to. It's a part of it. If you don't like it, quit. And even if you don't like it, so what? Keep going. If this ain't for you, don't. Hey, it ain't for everybody. If it was, everybody be able to do it. So the simple fact that you still here, you still waking up, calling upon the names, you still have this 100% truth. Hey, you still got a chance of salvation, man. Don't cut yourself short, man. Don't cheat yourself, right? Continuing on in verse 14, it says, "If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High rests upon you. In their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer or a thief or as an evildoer or as a busybody in other man's matter. Yet if any man suffer as a Hamashiachian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High on this behalf." Right? So that being said, you're supposed to glorify, man. Okay, because when you go into the word Christ or Christian or whatever it is, it simply goes into what anointed, and the Hebrew word is Hamashiach, right? Or Mashiach, or Mashiachim, which means anointed, the anointed, right? And we know when you go into the word anointed, it just means chosen. Who are the chosen? The elect. So the elect are going to be called into this ministry to partake in a part of the sufferings here on this side, okay, in this flesh. And then when it's time for the Lord sees fit to deliver and send World War III and so on and so forth, then they will receive the glory. But you have to go through this first. This is the first couple steps, right? We ain't even hit Jacob's trouble yet, man. So we're preparing ourselves for that, But I want to read Hebrews, the 12th chapter. I'm gonna start from the top and go a little bit down. But hey, through the Spirit, I just wanted to get this off my spirit to uplift my spirit and brother's spirit that may be catching hell as well. But this is Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1. And I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race that the Most High has set before us." Yeah, the race, the trial, right? The test, okay? We have to keep going, right? And it says, verse 2, "We do this by keeping our eyes on Yahushua, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarded its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor besides the Most High, Yahweh's throne," right? So Yahushua is that prime example. Yahushua is that pedestal or that mark that you're supposed to be looking upon. He's the cross line, the finish line, if you will, of what you're supposed to be having your eyes fixed on, which is Yahushua. You have your eyes fixed on him, right? You realize like what, man? Through him, you're able to accomplish any and everything. But you have to have your faith on him. And the only way to perfect your faith on Yahushua is you have to fear the Lord. And when you fear the Lord, you do the things that are commanded to you do, everything will fall into place. Like it says in Matthew 6:33, "Seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahshai and his righteousness." So you're supposed to be seeking heavenly things, things that are above, not the things that are here on earth. Okay, all these things that you see now are temporary. They're going to pass away. But if you have your focus on Yahweh Shai, you're going to overcome the sufferings, the chastisement, and so on and so forth. Right? It says, verse 3, think of all the hostility he endured from sinful people, then you won't become weary and give up. Yeah, so going back to the original point that I made earlier, you have to consider the things that Yahushua went through and consider how hard it was, because he came in the flesh like any regular man and he endured everything, you know. So him able to do that, you got to think to yourself, is my life really that hard? You know, am I really going through it the worst? Yahushua bared everything. So, you know, you have to essentially put your burdens on Yahushua, put your burdens on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? Because what, he cared for you. You know, don't try to burden yourself with all this hell. No, lean on Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Pray more when you catch a hell. Do less is more. Call brothers up and so on and so forth. Establish that strong connection between you and your power, man. Okay, that's the only way that's gonna pull you out of this, you know, fire, if you will, right? And it says, verse 4, after all, you have not yet given your lives in your struggle against sin, and have you forgotten the encouraging words Yahweh spoke to you as his children? He said, my child, don't make light of the Lord's discipline, and don't give up when he corrects you. Yeah, don't give up, okay? We sinned against Yahweh Shem Yoshai. So that's ultimately why we're catching hell, we're on punishment, we're banished from our land, and we have been, you know, when you watch the movie Thor, what happened in the first one? You know, he said you weren't worthy, so he stripped him from his power and he sent him. He banned him from the kingdom. From I forget what it is called, but he basically banned him from the kingdom, his spiritual power, everything, and he had to be in a wicked flesh. You know, and he had to be amongst the humans, right? He had to be humbled. You know, so the Lord did the same thing to us, man. We're being humbled, we're being corrected, we're being chastised, we're being disciplined, right? So we can't make a light of it. We can't take it lightly or not take it serious. No, we have to take this thing serious because it's very dead serious, you know. And we not supposed to give up when he corrected. It may come off harsh, you know. But does that mean it's okay to give up? No, it's always room for improvement. It's never room to give up. All right. Verse 6, it says, for the Lord discipline those he loves and punishes each one he accepts as his child, right? So the Lord loves us. He loves us enough to chastise us, to punish us, to put us through the things we need to do, because what? It's for his purpose to perfect us. He sees something in us that we don't see. Okay. Verse 7, it says, as ye endure this divine discipline, remember that the Most High is treating you as his own children. Whoever heard of a child who never disciplined by his father? If the Most High doesn't discipline you as he does all his children, it means that you are illegitimate and are not really his children of all, right? So with that being said, you're a reprobate, you're a bastard. If you don't receive chastisement from the Lord, if you ain't catching no type of hell, or you feeling, you know, sorrowful, or feeling like the world is crashing down on your shoulders at any point in time and you serving the Lord, man, hey, you a fucking reprobate, man, because there's no way that you're serving the Lord wholeheartedly and you not catching no type of hell, you know. And even if you're not, hey, pray for the Lord to send chastisement your way, and then also when you do that, pray to the Lord to give you the strength and power to overcome that, you know. That's the spirit that you want to be in. You want to catch hell. You want to perfect your hatred towards Babylon the Great. You want to get the hell up out of here. You want to throw curses on this place and throw up blessings for bros and to yourself, your household, and, you know, the Lord, man. You want to strengthen that connection between you and Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know. So with that, I didn't want to make this too long. Lord willing, was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakha HaKodash, and double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Kwame Yasharala, Wafa Babal, and Shalom.